my name is Miranda, and today I am here to talk about the first episode of the new Netflix series, The Umbrella Academy, which is based on a series of graphic novels. I have not read the graphic novels. I actually didn't know about The Umbrella Academy until like a couple months back when I read like a thing about like coming to Netflix soon, and it sounded really awesome. I just really like the idea of seeing like the timeline between like the kids when they were young and then how they grew up into these people that they are now, because obviously like they're not still, you know, out there fighting as a unit anymore, at least in the first episode. So I've only seen the first episode right now, and then I've seen like maybe 10 minutes of the second episode, and then I had to go to bed because I was tired. But from what I've seen so far, I'm really liking it, and it does make me want to read the comic books, and I don't think I can wait as long to, you know, figure out what actually happens in the TV series, so reading the comic books might help with that. So I love this show. There were so many aspects of this show that I loved. I think a lot of the characters are really interesting, and I can't wait to delve into more of their backstory. There are also, though, I feel like after watching this, a lot of questions I have. For example, even from the start, like we found out that these 7 kids were from really this pack of like 43 people who were suddenly had children with like no other symptoms of ever being pregnant or anything like that, just suddenly had children. These are the 7 that the main dude, the Bruce Wayne character, got to take in and raise as his own. So I'm also curious like if the other 36 are gonna come into play at all, you know, and see like what exactly they could be, if they have superpowers or not, because the whole thing is, you know, like every one of them has powers except for Vanya, which has really gotta suck. Like I felt so bad for her when they were like robbing the bank and stuff, and they were all doing their powers and saving the day and getting their pictures taken and everything and being heroes, and she was just like up there watching and was like, why can't I be with them? And I feel like even if she didn't have powers, like he could have at least trained her to like fight or something, or been like a distraction. Like she totally could have still done it. I feel like it's just creating this divide between her, you know, that was automatically going to be there, I feel like, because she doesn't have powers and they do, but now it's even more so because it's like you get to go out and do these cool things, and poor Vanya has to stay with the old dude and just watch from afar. Like I felt bad. Even when they had the scene where they were like running up the stairs and trying to get there first, she just got to time them, and I was like, she could still run up the stairs and like bond with them and have fun with them. Like I don't understand why she has to be like separated just because she doesn't have powers, you know? So I feel like that's kind of like the main idea of this story, though, is that like their caretaker guardian was not a good guardian. We even saw like when they went to say goodbye to him, and you know, they do call him dad, but I just feel like for them he wasn't a father figure. Like he really, I feel like, was more about just wanting to make them into these superheroes and make them famous and push them way past their limits that I feel like kids should be. Because like as I'm watching this, as cool as it is to see them like fighting, like the bank scene was really cool when they all, you know, combine their powers together, like I feel like they still don't really have a choice. It doesn't seem like they have a choice if they wanted to do this or not when they were kids, you know? Like maybe it's gonna be explored more, but like we definitely saw at least Ben was like, yeah, I don't want to do this part, and they were like, come on Ben, you just have to do it and then it'll be over with, and like he didn't want to do it. And I just feel like even if they said they want to do it, like how much can you say that this is fair to expose kids to, you know? Like all this like violence you're making them do, and you're making them literally fight adults that have like weapon. It's just not a good thing for kids to be around, even if they wanted to. And I feel like they still kind of, you can't say they had a free choice to do it, because like that's just how they've been raised. They've been raised to think like because of these powers we're going to be superheroes, and it obviously messed them all up in different ways. Don't seem to really talk, it seemed like, when they all came back for the funeral. Klaus is a drug addict, Allison's divorced and lost custody of her child, Diego's just kind of doing street fighting, I guess, you know, I don't even like vigilante stuff, Ben's dead, so that can't be good, and then 5 just mysteriously shows up. I have to say my favorite was definitely Klaus. Like I loved Klaus so much. Klaus and 5 are my favorite. Like I just love the fact that number 5 shows up and he's still like a kid, but like his mental age is like 55. Like I just love, especially the actor they got for him. He just does such a good job with it, like making you actually believe he's like this old dude who's just seen too much, knows too much, and is just like over and bored with everything. Like I think the actor is really good. Same for Klaus though. Like I love Klaus. I just want to like wrap him up and hug him and protect him. He's so sweet, and I just feel like he puts up this facade of, you know, like he is on his own and doesn't really, you know, care about anything, but then we see that, you know, he's talking to Ben. He's the only one that can see him, and he's kind of like his best friend, you know, like he's like, where should we go to eat, like stuff like that. Like he really is the one that opens up to him. I feel bad for Klaus, but I love him. And it's also the dude who played Simon in the Mortal Instruments, The City of Bones, the movie, not the TV show, the movie. That's who played Simon. I just love him, and I'm so super excited for him and for more of number 5. Like that's the ones I'm really looking to. And then Diego I really like too. Like Diego's interesting to me, even though he was the one that was like rude to Vanya. Everyone else was kind of like, hey Vanya, you're back. Like he was the one that was kind of like, you sold us out by writing this book or stuff like that. And I get both ends. Like it'll be interesting to see more when this comes out, but like I get why he would be upset, you know, if she just said like all this stuff about like, they do this, they do this. Maybe she like said like some of their issues and some of their fighting and stuff like that. But then I also get her because like A, she's gotta make money, which sounds terrible, but then also B, like I'm sure that like intentionally, like I said, she was raised in an environment where she felt different. And she was very, you know, separate from all of them practicing their powers. Like she was literally just like their guardian, like their coach on top of it, you know, and stuff like that. And I just felt bad for her. So it's just gonna be really interesting to see how their relationship progresses, because it did seem like Allison got along with her well. Luther, I feel like, didn't get along well with anyone. Like he just likes to be in charge. I feel like he likes Allison, which also weirds me out because I'm like, wait, you guys grew up as siblings, but I'm like, wait, but they're not like, I keep forgetting that like they're not related. Like that's the thing. I'm like, that's why they all look so different, and so it's okay that they like each other, even though I don't understand why he's so ginormous. And that's what's kind of scaring me, because everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're so big, and I'm like, but why is he so big? I want to see more of how exactly their powers work. Like I'm kind of confused about not necessarily what their powers are, but I guess like Allison's like, I get, like she says like, I heard a rumor that this, and then it happens, but she already talked about how like it's caused her nothing but trouble, so I'm assuming like there's like a give and take with that. Like she'll say something, but then it spins in a way that she doesn't really mean it, you know? Luther, I honestly don't know what Luther's power is. Super strong, maybe. Diego, he's another one. I don't know exactly what his power is. I think it's like just good with fighting or something like that. And then 5 obviously can travel through space and now time. He can create like these temporal displacements, which I was like, I know what that is from The Flash, thank you. And then Klaus can communicate with the dead, but we've only seen him talk to Ben so far, so it doesn't seem like he can really be like, come here, you know, like it doesn't seem like he has very great control over it. Like maybe they just come to him instead of him actually being able to seek them out. And then Ben turns into some kind of monster thing that just eats everything, so I don't even, we're not going to touch that one. But I'm just so looking forward to seeing how it's going to change and how this whole dynamic's going to be and how they're going to come back together, because, you know, they ended up being like fighting again, which I feel like it's hard, because I feel like on one part it's the environment they were raised in, but then I also feel like they're very different personalities that were just like raised together because of this commonality they have. Like I feel like that's the thing, like not all siblings are like super similar, and that means that not all their relationships are going to be, you know, perfect and great as we see sometimes. But I also feel like there might have been like this competition that their dad kind of like enforced upon them and didn't really let them be friends with each other, you know? So I want to see how that's going to come out and that's going to play. Oh my gosh, how did I forget to mention my favorite character, Pogo the monkey? There was a monkey butler, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, this show is amazing. I'm sold, because it was just like they spaced his scenes out enough too where like I would forget about him and then he'd come back out and I'd get so happy all over again. Like I absolutely loved him so much. He was adorable, and I was like, I sincerely hope you don't turn out to be bad, because my heart will be crushed. So if you've seen the first episode of The Umbrella Academy, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Also make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know if you'd like to see more review episodes or just maybe like a season 1 overall review, because I am enjoying the show so far and I'm excited to watch more. So thank you guys all so much for watching again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!